What is the meaning of life? Have you ever had a quiet moment, maybe late at night, when the world finally slows down, the house is still, and the noise of the day fades into silence, and a question rises to the surface of your mind that you simply cannot ignore? Why am I here? What is the point of all of this? It is one of the oldest questions in human history. Philosophers have wrestled with it. Scientists have searched for it. Writers and poets have tried to capture it in words. And yet the question remains, because it is not just an intellectual puzzle. It is deeply, achingly personal. Each of us, at some point, looks at our own life and wonders, does any of this truly matter? For some people, life feels full and rich. Every day seems alive with color and purpose. But for others, even when things appear to be going well on the outside, a steady income, a comfortable home, people who care, there is still a quiet, persistent ache, a sense that something deeper is missing, that the life they are living is somehow smaller than the life they were meant to live. Achievements come and go, seasons change, relationships shift. And yet, that question, what is the meaning of life, refuses to leave. The Bible does not dismiss this question. It does not wave it away as too philosophical or too complicated. It answers it with warmth, with clarity, and with genuine, life-giving hope. Life was meant to mean something. Let us start at the very beginning, because the very first truth the Bible establishes is one we must never take for granted. Your life is not an accident. At Genesis 1:27, we are told, God created man in his image. Pause on that. Really pause. You were created with the capacity to love, to reason, to imagine, to feel deeply, to sacrifice for others, qualities that reflect your Creator. You were not assembled by random forces. You were fashioned, deliberately, purposefully, lovingly, with intention. And at Isaiah 45:18, we read that Jehovah did not create the earth simply for nothing, but formed it to be inhabited. Think about what that means. The earth, with its breathtaking mountains, its vast oceans, its perfect conditions for life, was not an afterthought. It was a home, built for the people Jehovah intended to fill it. And if the earth was made to be a home, then the people living on it were meant to belong here. Your life is not random. It is not a mistake. It is not an accident of biology or circumstance. It was intended. It was designed. It was wanted. You are here because Jehovah meant for you to be here. And that truth alone, before anything else, gives your life a value and a dignity that nothing and no one can ever take from you. The meaning is found in a relationship, but understanding that our lives are intentional still leaves us with the deeper question: what are we meant to do with this life? Jesus answered that question in a way that is both beautifully simple and profoundly life-changing. At John 17:3, he said, "This means everlasting life, their coming to know you, the only true God." Notice what he did not say. He did not say that life's meaning is found in success, not in titles or recognition, not in wealth, possessions, or the admiration of others. He said, it comes from knowing God. Now, there is a significant difference between knowing about someone and truly knowing them. I may know facts about a famous leader or a celebrated artist, but that is entirely different from knowing their heart, the way they think, what moves them, what they deeply care about, and how they feel about me. Jesus was not talking about a formal, distant knowledge of God. He was describing an intimate, growing, personal relationship with Jehovah, the kind where you begin to recognize his voice, understand his values, feel the warmth of his care, and trust him completely with the details of your life. When a person begins to genuinely know Jehovah in that way, something quietly but profoundly changes on the inside. Life begins to feel anchored, not hollow, not aimless, but connected, deeply, meaningfully connected to the one who gave you life in the first place. That connection is not a small thing. It is, in fact, everything. Love is what makes life feel full. Jesus went even further, giving us another essential piece of this picture. At Matthew 22:37-39, he said, "You must love Jehovah your God with your whole heart, and with your whole soul, and with your whole mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. The second, like it, is this: you must love your neighbor as yourself." In other words, the meaning of life is also expressed through love for the people around us. Think about the moments that have truly stayed with you, the ones that still mean something years later, the ones you return to in your memory when you need to be reminded that life is good. I would guess that most of those moments are not the awards or the accomplishments. They are the human moments, a quiet conversation that said everything without many words, a sacrifice someone made when they did not have to, a moment when someone looked at you and genuinely, sincerely cared. Why do those moments stay with us? Because we were created for them. We were designed to love and to be loved. And when we live that way, giving love freely, receiving it graciously, life begins to feel as it was meant to feel. Not necessarily perfect, not without difficulties, but full, genuinely, beautifully full. Even the small things matter. Here is something that many people miss when they think about the meaning of life. We often imagine that meaning must come from something grand, a great achievement, a dramatic turning point, a sweeping contribution the world will remember. But the Bible gently and wisely redirects us. At Ecclesiastes 3:12-13, it tells us there is something truly good in rejoicing, in doing good, and in finding satisfaction in our work. And this, it says, is the gift of God. That means the meaning of life is not found only at the finish line of some great pursuit. It is found along the way, in the small, quiet choices we make every single day. It is in a kind word spoken to someone who is struggling when no one else would even notice. Honest, careful work done with integrity, even when shortcuts are available. Taking a genuine moment to appreciate the beauty of a sunset, a meal, a conversation. Choosing to forgive even when holding a grudge would feel easier. Staying to help someone even when you are tired. These things may seem ordinary. They may feel unremarkable in the moment. But in Jehovah's eyes, they are anything but small. They are the threads woven together to form a life of meaning, a life that quietly and consistently reflects the love and character of the one who created us. Why life sometimes feels empty. Now, we must be honest with ourselves, because the Bible is. Many people, at various points in their lives, carry a deep sense of emptiness. Life can feel exhausting, confusing, painfully unfair, and sometimes meaningless. Denying that reality helps no one. At Ecclesiastes 1:2, the writer says with striking honesty, "Everything is futile." Those words resonate because they describe something real. There are seasons in life when your best efforts seem to produce nothing lasting, when loss and grief settle in like a cold fog that will not lift, when you look at the state of the world, its injustice, its indifference, and wonder if anything truly matters. Why does life feel that way sometimes? The answer is this: the world we are living in right now is not what Jehovah originally designed it to be. From the very beginning, something went wrong. Rebellion introduced suffering, imperfection, and death into human experience, things that were never part of Jehovah's original intention. And every generation since has inherited that weight. But, and this is where everything changes, this is not how life is meant to remain. Not permanently. Not forever. A future that gives meaning now. Jehovah has not abandoned his original purpose. He has promised to restore everything and more. At Psalm 37:29, we read, "The righteous will possess the earth, and they will live forever on it." Not in the clouds, not in some vague afterlife. On the earth, the home Jehovah always intended. And in Revelation 21:3-4, we are given one of the most tender promises in all of Scripture. Look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more, neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. Read those words slowly. Every tear wiped away, death no more, pain no more, mourning no more. Imagine a life where nothing good ever ends, where relationships are never cut short, where you wake up every morning not with dread, but with genuine joy, where peace and love are not fleeting moments, but the constant, unshakable texture of every single day. That is the future Jehovah has staked his name on. And that future gives your life deep, substantial meaning right now, because every step you take toward Jehovah, every act of love and faithfulness, all of it is leading somewhere lasting. Not one moment of it is wasted. Not one act of kindness is forgotten. Not one struggle endured with faith is without purpose. A simple, deep truth. The Bible gathers all of this into one clear, timeless statement. At Ecclesiastes 12:13, it says, "Fear the true God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole obligation of man." That one sentence holds everything. Stay close to Jehovah. Let him guide your life. Live in a way that reflects his love. And please hear this clearly. This is not a burden. It is not a list of restrictions. It is not a performance you must maintain to earn love. It is an invitation, a warm, open-hearted invitation from your Creator to step into the kind of life you were always meant to live. A life that is full, a life that is real, a life anchored not in circumstances that shift, but in a relationship that is eternal. A thought to take with you. So, what is the meaning of life? Let us say it simply and clearly. To know Jehovah, to love him, to love the people he has placed in your life, and to live each day with the hope of the future he has promised. This is not a philosophical theory. It is a lived, daily, personal reality, available to you, right where you are. This meaning is not reserved for a select few. It does not depend on your past, your failures, or how far you may feel from where you want to be. It is available to you, today, in the life you are already living. The question is not whether meaning exists. The question is whether you are willing to reach for it, to take even one small step toward the one who placed that longing for meaning in your heart to begin with. Because when you do, when you begin, even imperfectly, to live in harmony with your purpose, something shifts. The emptiness starts to fill. The questions start to quiet. And life, your life, begins to feel exactly what it was always created to be. Deeply, quietly, and genuinely meaningful.